What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Laid Back Dad Reviews. My name is Stephen George, and today I'm going to be going over my top 10 of 2025. Now, please keep in mind, my name is Laid Back Dad Reviews, and this is going to be my opinion, my list of the movies that I got to see that I enjoyed in 2025. Now, I didn't get to all the movies that I was wanting to see. So I will make mention of those. I do have some honorable mention that I saw that I liked, but it didn't quite hit the top 10. And then following that, I will give you my top 10. So before I start, I realized, when I went back, I'm pretty big into sci-fi, fantasy, those types of movies. I like prestigious films, movies that are going to be in the running for Best Picture or any kind of other Oscar nomination. But for me, these are personally the ones that I enjoyed the most in 2025, with a couple of them making the list that I just watched within the last few days. So, with that being said, I'm going to go through my list of movies that I did not get to see that I wanted to. Hopefully, I'm able to get to most of those pretty early on this year, and hopefully get some reviews on the channel for you guys. So, starting off, I have Bring Her Back. And this is a movie from the Philippou brothers, I think from Australia. They recently did Talk to Me. Talk to Me was one of my favorites of that year, and I was really hoping to get to this. I never really did. And I've heard that it's not the most happiest of movies. So, yeah. Next is Life of Chuck. Now, this is from one of my favorite horror directors out right now, Mike Flanagan, which I don't believe this is technically a horror movie, but it does star Tom Hiddleston and is based on a story by Stephen King. After that, I had 28 Years Later. I was a fan of 28 Days Later. I loved 28 Weeks Later. And so I was really hoping to get to this, but for whatever reason, I just never quite got around to it. And the remake of, or actually next, is the I Know What You Did Last Summer remake. Now, to be honest with you, I haven't really heard very many reviews. I was excited just to kind of see like what they were going to bring to the table, and then seeing some cast members returning, that always seemed pretty intriguing to me. But again, never got quite to it. Next is The Long Walk, another Stephen King adaptation by Francis Lawrence, who does the Hunger Game movies. All of them, I think, except for the very first one. And it's got David Johnson, who I thought was a standout in Alien Romulus. And I've heard good things about Cooper Hoffman, basically their chemistry and how good this is. Again, I've heard it's not the happiest of stories, but that it is a good watch. After that, I had One Battle After Another with Leonardo DiCaprio. I saw the trailers for this, never really knew what it was about, honestly, other than Leonardo DiCaprio trying to get his daughter back, I believe. I don't know, just never got around to it. Tron, Ares, yeah. I saw the trailer for that. I thought it looked pretty intriguing with the digital world coming to the real world. And I was a big fan of Tron Legacy, I think was the last one. Still haven't seen the original one, but the last one I really dug, and plus the soundtrack for Tron Ares is done by Nine Inch Nails. They always do well. With Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor, they usually deliver very good soundtracks. So I do want to see this one. Next up, Black Phone 2. I am a huge fan of Sinister, and Scott Derrickson and what he was able to do with that movie. I thought he did a great job with Doctor Strange. I enjoyed the first Black Phone, but I only ever saw it once. I need to go back and rewatch it. And again, just never got around to Black Phone 2, but I did see some of the, what was it, the 8 millimeter footage, kind of like reminded me of Sinister, and those were always creepy. So I do want to get eventually arrive to watching Black Phone 2. Shelby Oaks. There is a movie reviewer that I don't listen to all the time, but his name's Chris Stuckman. Um, and he, I think, got uh, the fundraising. I think Kickstarter might have been what it was. And he did a horror movie, which I saw a few seconds of the trailer and was like, I don't want to watch anymore because I want to see what this movie is and if it's any good. I will get around to this one for sure. Next up was Frankenstein by Guillermo del Toro. Again, just never got around to it, especially here at the end of the year. And finally, I put this in here, Predator Badlands. I've been a big fan of the direction that the Predator movies have taken here recently with Prey and Predator Killer of Killers. Dan Trachtenberg did this one. Now, I'll be honest with you, I did make it to the theater to watch this movie. However, the theater was pretty warm and that recliner was laid back just enough that I eventually fell asleep during the movie. I liked what I saw. I was very disappointed in myself for falling asleep through it. Um, but it is what it is. Moving on to the honorable mentions. These are movies that I did see, that I did enjoy. They just didn't make the top 10. Some of these are, you know what? I'm not going to say this might surprise you, but it may surprise you. Um, I've got 7 of these I was going to mention because each of these 7, I did enjoy the movies. And starting with number 7 was Conjuring Last Rites. Um, I I love the first movie. I liked the second one. The third one, The Devil Made Me Do It, I believe. I thought it was okay. Again, I've only seen that one time, but I didn't really have much hype going for Conjuring Last Rites, and I saw it, and I actually ended up enjoying it a lot more than what I thought I was going to. And a big part of that, if you've listened to any kind of review, is Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson. They just have a great chemistry together, and it actually feels like they are still enjoying doing these movies. Um, Coming in at number 6 is The Naked Gun with Liam Neeson and Pam Anderson. I am a big fan of slapstick humor. I was a big fan of, I think Naked Gun 33 and a third was the first Naked Gun movie that I saw. And I just love that kind of humor, that silly slapstick humor. And this one, I was cautiously optimistic with it because you just never know, is it going to be Scary Movie 1 and 2, or is it going to be the superhero movies that they were trying to spoof back in like the 2000s? Um, I enjoyed the first 2 scary movies, and after that, it just became something silly. So I was worried that Naked Gun was going to be a product of that. However, they did a great job. I was cracking up quite a bit through this movie, and a couple of times I was nervous that I might have woken my kids up because I was laughing so loud. Um, Pamela Anderson, a scene with her in there where she starts scatting, killed me, and Liam Neeson and, oh gosh, I'm sorry, the bad guy from Wonder Woman. When they have a Black Eyed Peas conversation, just hilarious. Number 5, Lilo and Stitch. My wife and I took my oldest daughter to go see Lilo and Stitch, and I didn't rewatch the cartoon before we went and saw this, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun, and just looking over and seeing just a big smile on my daughter's face. Um, I mean, she loved it, and whenever I see her loving something like that, it helps me appreciate that a little bit more. Coming at number 4 is Sinners. This one's from Ryan Coogler, who has done Fruitvale Station, The Creed, I think maybe the first 2 Creed movies, and then Black Panther. And Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. But Sinners is one that I need to rewatch again because I feel like once I rewatch this, this actually would probably go on my top 10 list. But sometimes these movies I've got to watch them in increments, and so maybe that might take away a little bit of why this is not on my top 10 list. But I mean, it was a great movie. It was a beautiful movie. Um, Michael B. Jordan like selling you on Smoke and Stack, like 2 different characters, but just nailed both of them. Um, Number 3 is Thunderbolts. Again, this is one that I've only seen once, and I need to go back and rewatch it because this is one that I actually did enjoy, especially coming right after Captain America: Brave New World. Um, yeah, it's one I need to see again. And number 2 on my honorable mentions is James Gunn's Superman. Um, Again, I've only seen this one time, and I enjoyed it. Um, and it's another one that I need to watch again because I feel like I will be able to enjoy it rather than sitting there guessing the whole time. But for now, based on the first round, Superman is my second highest honorable mention. Um, and that leads to the number 1 honorable mention, which is Elio. This is the most recent Pixar movie that came out, and I feel like they should have done a little bit more marketing with this one. I really enjoyed Elio. Um, yeah, it's just a bummer sometimes whenever you see a movie and you're like, why didn't that perform better than what it did? And it was fully enjoyable, and like the day that it came out, like I think that Friday I ended up playing most of it for my class, and then they actually finished it up on a day that I wasn't there. But yeah, so those are my honorable mentions. Now, for my top 10 of 2025, please remember this is just my personal opinion. Um, because, I've got movies like Sinners that is in my honorable mentions, and then I'm leading off with Final Destination Bloodlines at number 10. Um, this just brought back that nostalgic feeling that a Final Destination movie does. Um, I mean, you watch these movies to see if you can figure out how people are gonna die, like, and that's basically what this one was. I mean, there was a great opening, which heights are, for whatever reason, one of my biggest fears. And so being at the Seattle Space Needle at the very beginning was just, it was a nightmare, honestly. And then, like, the rest of the movie, it worked out really well. And I am very nervous to go into an MRI machine. Coming in at number 9 is Zach Kreger's Weapons. Now, I honestly wasn't going to watch this until um, it came out, and I just kept hearing just great reviews. And I say that I wasn't going to watch it just because, like, I didn't know what it was. I think I ended up watching one trailer right beforehand, and once I saw the kids taking off with their arms out, I was like, okay, I'm in now. I guess we'll check this out. And like I said, the premise is creepy. A bunch of kids take off at the same time at night and aren't seen again. And so you use like this puzzle piece approach to figure out exactly what happened as you follow these different characters. Um, and it just, I don't know, it worked out really well. And that's another one that I need to go back and rewatch. Number 8 is Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, the 8th movie in the Tom Cruise Mission Impossible franchise. Um, This one here just once again proves how crazy Tom Cruise is. It's like the stunts that he does. I mean, I don't know. I don't get it, but I was the only one in my IMAX theater, which it had been out for a little bit. Um, and I went to go see a matinee, but I was the only one in there, and thank God I was, because some of the scenes that they have are just, oh my God, you're holding your breath, like you're squirming around. It was the submarine scene for me that I was very thankful that I was the only one in that theater, because I was just, oh my God, like I don't feel like I can. I needed one of those little squish things I could just sit there and like squeeze the whole time to kind of help myself out. Number seven, Avatar Fire and Ash, the most recent offering from James Cameron in the Avatar franchise. This one's coming at number seven. I really did enjoy it. I think that I believe it's Una Chaplin as Varang. Um, is one of the best characters that is in the Avatar franchise. Like, she is very formidable and intimidating. Um, and some of like the aerial battles that are presented in this are incredible. The partnership that she later has with one of our other main antagonists in Quaritch was again very formidable. Like, it just, I don't know, it worked for me. However, there are just other movies that I ended up liking a bit more than Avatar, but it is a beautiful movie. And like I said, with like James Cameron, like he knows how to put together some action set pieces. Even though it's some of the same stuff that we've seen before, it still looks incredible. I was fixed on the screen the entire time, like just loved every minute of it. Number 6, Jurassic World Rebirth. Now, I saw where a lot of people were criticizing this movie, but I went with my wife, and my cousin and his girlfriend, and we all walked out having had a really good time. Um, it was just fun to get back to that world, with the dinosaurs. And then this one, like I got a sense of wonder, kind of familiar with like the very first one. Um, there were some intense scenes in there that I just really enjoyed, and I know that it's Jurassic Park or Jurassic World, and there's gonna be some things that are just unbelievable. However, it still worked for me. I had a very, very good time with this one. Was it perfect? No, but did they take away some of the stakes again? Of course. But when it came down to it, I had a really good time with Jurassic World Rebirth. Coming in at number 5 is a movie that I just saw recently, and there's always one where you should have seen it in the theater. And F1, the movie, is that movie that I knew I should have gone and seen in the theater. Um, this one's coming from Joseph Kosinski, who did the most recent Top Gun Maverick. Um, I don't know anything about Formula One racing other than maybe have seen it on like games and stuff. I mean, yeah, I've seen it on TV or whatever, but I have never once sat down and watched a race from beginning to end. Like, I have a lot of respect for them, and especially coming out of this movie, like I've got a very big respect for Formula One drivers. But Joseph Kosinski just does this thing like he did in Top Gun Maverick. Whenever any of the fighter jets were like taking off, like he puts you like right in that cockpit, and he does the same thing with Formula One. Like, as soon as the light tells the drivers to go, you're in the cockpit with them, and you just get to see like how fast that they are taking off. And just, I don't know, man, the way that he's able to work that camera magic on there, I really dug F1. Coming in at number 4, K-pop Demon Hunters. A big reason that this is at number 4 is because my kids and my wife. My wife earlier this year told me like, "Hey, like you need to check this movie out," and I was like, I'll get to it. I'll get to it." I listened to the soundtrack all summer and had a great time with it. Um, but just having kids and you're trying to watch a movie, I saw the same parts. I don't know how many times, and then the parts that I didn't see, I continued to not see them until I finally was able to sit down and watch it without having the kids in there. And I very much enjoyed this movie. The animation's awesome. Like I said, the music is incredible. Um, it kind of makes you wonder how, I guess, Sony Animation and Netflix kind of slept on this one, because this one became a huge, huge movie. Just a cultural, I don't know if zeitgeist is the right word or not, but it was a lot bigger than I think that they were anticipating. And after watching it, like I get it. Like it's a good story, about embracing who you are, accepting things in the past that you can't change, and trying to become a better person, because of that. So number four was K-pop Demon Hunters. Coming in at number three was a movie that I was honestly going to watch maybe 10 minutes of, because I had liked the previous entry. And number three is Predator Killer of Killers. Now, a big reason that I was hesitant on this is because this was a rated R animated Predator movie. Dan Trachtenberg, if I'm saying that name wrong, I apologize. But came in and kind of breathed some new life into the Predator franchise after the Predator just almost killed it off. Um, but so he did Prey, and I ended up really enjoying that one. And then I saw that he was doing Killer of Killers as well, and I honestly, like I said, just I liked Prey a lot, but since it was animated, I'm like, well, what are they going to do with this? But in this Predator Killer of Killers, you follow a Viking, you follow a samurai, and you follow a World War II vet, or I guess, pilot, and they each tackle on a predator, and then it culminates at the very end where they all end up having to work together. And then at the very end of it, which I later learned that they went back and added some more to the mid-credit scenes. I don't know, Predator Killer Killers, like it's at number three because I was just so surprised by how much I enjoyed the movie. The animation was beautiful, the fighting, the violence, the blood, like it was all done so well. And I felt bad for doubting this movie, especially since it was animation. I love animation, and I've got to get better at embracing that. Now, number two is another one that surprised me. Um, I had seen the original before, and then a lady that I work with at my school has been telling me like, "Hey, you got to check this movie out. You got to check it out. Like you're gonna love it." Me and my son, we love the whole trilogy, so we were a little skeptical about this one too, but we went and saw it and absolutely loved it. Um, this is going to fall into again that category of should have seen this in the theater. But my number two is How to Train Your Dragon. Now with this movie, there were some differences. Actually, I don't even know if there really were any differences. Um, I know they had to add some extra stuff because it was like a little bit longer than the animated version. But this movie, the kid that stepped in for Hiccup, I should have looked his name up because he was in Black Phone as well. He does a very good job playing Hiccup, and I've been used to Jay Baruchel, as Hiccup, and so I was just like, well, how's this kid gonna do in this position? And like he does a great job. And like the biggest selling for me of this movie are the aerial scenes. Anytime they're up in the air flying, like I'd be like a little kid again. I'd get all giddy, because these scenes were just so incredible, and their scenes are powerful, and you just get to enjoy this relationship with Hiccup as he finds, or yeah, with Hiccup as he finds Toothless, and you get to see that relationship build in a live action approach to this. And actually, I just watched the second animated one the other day, and so I really hope that they continue with the live action ones. And that brings me to my number one favorite movie of 2025. And I'm actually surprised that this one is here. One, because I didn't know if I was going to like it. Two, I don't really know how to explain it, but Fantastic Four First Steps. Um, and it's so weird because I love the cast. Like I think they all do a great job. However, I there's just something that I don't know how to explain it. Like they're not missing anything because their chemistry is great together. I don't know if it's just because it's maybe just not who I had envisioned in these roles, but I ended up absolutely loving this movie. With Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Richards, or she, yeah, yeah, um, Joseph Quinn, and then oh my gosh, can't think of the guy's name who's plays the Thing. He was Micro in The Punisher, and I know he's in the show The Bear. Gosh, that seems so disrespectful. But anyway, I really, really, really enjoyed Fantastic Four. Like from going up to space, those scenes up there, to something that happens with Sue in space. That is incredible. There's bits of like Interstellar mixed in with this. And then Galactus. Like the first time you see Galactus, and it's just enormous. And uh, just everything just works so well with this movie. I have actually watched this probably about three times, and for me, if you've actually made it this far, like at the beginning, I've been talking about how it's hard for me to rewatch movies, and this one was just one that I have watched about three times now, and there's been times where I've just played it in the background while I'm doing something because it's becoming a comfort movie, I guess, for me. Um, and yeah, I can't wait to see where they go next with the Fantastic Four. But yeah, so this is my top 10 of 2025. Again, some of these movies that were honorable mentions, after I watch them again, I may be like, you know what, that should have gone to the top 10 rather than this. But I'm gonna stick with it. This is my first one I'm doing. Oh, there you have it. Top 10 of 2025. What is your top 10 look like? Do you have any honorable mentions? Did you think that I am absolutely crazy by putting some of these in my top 10 and you felt like they should have been honorable mentions, or you didn't even watch them? Let me know what you think. I'll try to get back to as many as I can. If there is going to be many, there may just be a few. But thank you for stopping by to check out my top 10 list and let me know what yours was. You guys have a great day. Peace.